Hi everyone and welcome back to Every Day is Spooktober. Now, as we are approaching October, I am watching more horror films now. I'm getting there. I have bought a bunch of them and I'm awaiting to watch them, of horror films I haven't seen, but I'm kind of waiting for the October month so that I've got something new to watch. This is going to be a review of Rec 2. Let me know if you've seen it, but I watched this film a few nights ago, and I watched the first one a few months back, and all I wanted to know is what happened next, because the first one ended on a cliffhanger if you have seen it. So just a heads up, if you haven't seen Rec or Rec 2, probably isn't the video for you. Go watch it first and then come here, and then you probably will understand more of what I'm talking about. And also I don't want to ruin anything for you, so let's just get into it. Okay, so the first thing about this that I just want to address is, first off, we'll talk about the good things, right? I love how we immediately jump into the second one from the first one. You know, it's all in the same night, and there's no like faffing about and like, you know, people there being some backstory or doing a big recap or, you know, putting stuff in that's like filler or doesn't need to be there. I love how we go straight in. We're in the car, we're with the SWAT team, they're approaching the quarantine building and they're going straight in. Love that. There's no messing around, we're straight in there. And something I do like about these films is they're not super long and they're quite short and snappy, which I do appreciate because I'm not really someone that likes 2-3 hour films, if I'm honest. I prefer them quite short. And especially with found footage, I think there's only so much you can do without dragging it out so much. So I really like that. And one thing that did sort of bug me though was when they were going into the building, and obviously like found footage, I really like found footage films, and you know I want to see more of them being made because I think they are so realistic. They, you know, it's first person, it's you feel like you're the camera and you just see everything that you don't want to see. I think it's creepy, I think it's scarier. So I really like found footage. And obviously it's super realistic, like I said. But one thing that really bugged me is when this SWAT team went into the building, there was like 4 of them, 5 of them, and then one of them was a priest. So, like, why would you, if you know that there's obviously some kind of breakout, there's an issue within this building, why are you sending like 4 men? Like, it kind of bugged me a bit because I thought, okay, like, it's a bit, I don't know, it was kind of dumb, I guess, and with it trying to be realistic, obviously it wasn't. I mean, I know the premise is not realistic at all, but you know what I mean. I thought that bugged me a bit, and I think there could have been more guys that went in maybe. But apart from that, we went in there, film started, and you know, it had the same vibe, the same atmosphere, the same creepiness of the first one. I love how we immediately go to the penthouse. Angela isn't there. You're like, where is she? She was last seen in this room. I knew she was going to come back in this. I knew she was going to come back. It was just obviously question is when, you know, and they were in the penthouse and it was really creepy in the penthouse. But I loved the vibe. I almost was kind of like looking through my fingers at one point because I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I can keep watching. And then we sort of get, number one, certain characters making just dumb decisions, like when one of the SWAT team members gets bitten and they're like, you know, they're like trying to lock him in a room and they like go back into the room that this guy's been locked in and they're like, are you okay? Like, there's just so many things about this film and the characters' reactions which was just so stupid, and it kind of irritated me a bit, and I was like, okay, come on. So I didn't really like that. I think there could have been some more like reason for characters doing certain things rather than them just doing it to like get a scare out of it. I think there could have been reason behind certain actions. And then another thing that really bugged me is these random kids just walking into the building and like exploring it. That was so dumb. And in my opinion, that was filler, and I think the film could have done without it. I don't think it added anything to the story. I don't think it was important. I think we needed to focus more on Angela and sort of the first one more than anything. And I didn't like that these kids just barged in and it was like, hey, we're exploring. Once again, how the hell are you getting in there? That's super unrealistic. And number 2, they were just so stupid. That part I just think was so unnecessary and like whatever. And then Angela comes back right at the end and I was like, why is this only happening now? I personally think that she should have come in at the beginning. I think that she could have been there at the beginning and the SWAT team could have found her alive. And then she could have been playing them throughout this whole film. And obviously right at the end when, you know, we find out that she's possessed, then it would have been like a huge like sort of reveal and like plot twist. And that's what should have happened. But she shows up like 15 minutes towards the end of the film. And it was just really random. It was random that when she approached these guys, they immediately knew who she was without her saying. And then she walks over to them and they don't even attack her or shoot her. Like, you know, frantically. They're just like, let me look at you and see if you're infected or not. Obviously after that, the whole premise of it is the priest is trying to get the blood of patient 0 so that he can get an antidote for the people that are ill, and whatever. So when we get into the penthouse again and then they find the room and they use the night vision on the camera, that was genius. I absolutely love that. And I think that it should have been used more, 100%. 100%. Like, it was genius. It kind of gave me the vibe, you know, from Lights Out, the short film that was made into a full feature length. I believe James Wan was one of the producers for that. Gave me that same vibe where it was like with the night vision you can see like the room transforms into something else that you can only see on night vision where patient 0 stays, and then when a light is on you can't see it and it's a completely different room. When one of the SWAT guys is getting drowned in the sink with the night vision and then they flip the light on and there's not even a sink there, like genius, so good. Then, you know, we sort of end up seeing the creature at patient 0 more into you know, she's more visible. We see him, and I mean, I don't know, I think what was really effective in the first one is like with anything, you don't see it all, so it makes it like creepier when you first see it at glance. But I think because we saw so much of it, it wasn't as scary anymore, unfortunately. But it's a weird thing, like it's like 10 foot tall and like skinny and like naked, like all things are hanging out, like it's a weird creature, but I kind of like it. It's something new. I've not seen that kind of thing before, so I kind of like patient 0 the way that it looked. And then we sort of get to the end and then we find out that Angela's possessed, and I thought that, yes, I want to know more, I want to know what's going on. And I love that right at the end we get a flashback from the first one, of the ending, and we see what happens to Angela after she gets dragged away, and the fact that she got possessed by patient 0. I want to know what happens next after the second one, because like, does she get let out? She obviously radioed out to the people outside and said, you know, come and get me, I'm the only one left, blah blah blah. Does she get let out? Does she infect loads of people? What happens? I want to know. It left me wanting to know more exactly at the first one, which I think it does very well. I think overall, I think it's on a par with the first. Like, if I had to give this one a rating, I'd probably say like a 6 out of 10. And I'd probably give the first one exactly the same. So, yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on it. What did you guys think? Should I watch the third and the fourth? Let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.